Good morning, traders. Today is Monday, the 31st of January. This morning we had earnings from Exxon. They beat. They said on the back of high oil prices caused them to increase their profits. You guys know how I feel about all these oil reserve stocks. I'm definitely a bull on oil, so I recommend buying the core ones that have good fundamentals on pullbacks, and I'll highlight them later on in the week. Right now we're looking at the E-mini futures and we are short. You see this trend line right here? Well, we're breaking this right now. So we opened up, we had that little head fake that brushed us back up to 1278, and then right when we went below the open at 1276 half, I got short. And then right now we're looking, this could be a target later on in the day, just around this 1271 level. It was Friday's low and it's kind of touching this trend line that we have from the 1262 low that we put in back here on Friday. So right now you need to be very cautious. If you're an inexperienced trader and you still have a lot of longs on the table, it might be a good time to take some profits. We don't know what this market's going to do, but the turmoil that's in Egypt is really reflecting on our markets. As for gold, we're looking at the futures contracts right now. We're trading at around 13.29, about 12 points ever since we opened at 6 p.m. yesterday. Now, this is only for the skilled traders. This isn't like trading an equities market. This is very volatile right now. Whenever you see a crisis, people run to bonds and hard precious metals for protection. That's why you should always keep the bonds on your radar. Even if you're watching the bond futures, they pretty much track them in correlation. When you see the bonds rise, that means people are looking for protection for their money and they don't want to be in equities. They don't know what's going to happen. They're very uncertain. So that's just one of the indicators we use to gauge this market. Right now we have this downtrend in gold that we brushed up against before we pulled back a little bit. I was actually short in gold around 8 this morning. You see this line right here. This is 8 p.m. Right after we put in this lower high, I started getting short around 13.31, and we covered right before the bell opened, and it's a good thing we did. We blasted up. Right now I bought some of the GDX on the back of this move. I felt that there was going to be some buying come through since we were oversold, looking at the stochastics and a few other underlying indicators. Alright, so we're looking at the 1 hour chart on the right, and we see the 50 period moving average. It's just flirting with it, kind of consolidating above it. Now if we could get back above 1333, we're going to look for a move back to 1358. We need to really take a step back and look at the whole perspective of the gold markets. We had that violent move that brought us to this 1309 level. That was pretty much flushing out all the weak hands. Then you had the surge up, and this was basically because people in other countries, and some of them may be in Egypt, want to take their money out of their stock market. It's been dropping massively. Their bonds are now going to get their ratings cut. So this president that's been in the reign for 30 years is really causing some problems. Is it a good thing for traders? Yes, it's a great thing. I love it whenever the markets are like this. This is where we as traders need to get in our own zone and really take advantage of this, because this doesn't happen a lot, these volatile markets. And we must really capitalize whenever we have an opportunity like this. Crude's trading at around 88.93 right now, and this is another volatile market. So 89.02 is pretty much our line in the sand. If we hold above that, that's where we'll start getting long at. But we will not short this market under any circumstances. I'm very, very bullish on crude. I continue to stay bullish. I don't think 120 is a far sight. Let's just say after this little correction passes and they do want to continue making the S&P go up to 1400, crude oil will rise right along with it. I'm not going to speak too far out, but I believe in the next year or two a big correction is coming. But we're not going to start getting ready for that right now. We need to just trade in the moment. Anyways, I'm going to switch to a couple stocks that I'm watching this morning. Alright, we're watching HOT, and they report on February 3rd Right now, the chart looks like it's breaking down on the daily. It's had a massive move. And if we get back above, I'd like to see us get around 60.30. I'd probably be shorting it. But when it's leading up to earnings, I don't like to hold positions. Because what happens when you get like 2-3 days before earnings, people start positioning themselves going into earnings. So you really don't want to be caught in that. For a day trade scalp, it's perfectly fine, but I wouldn't hold it. Next one we're looking at is X. And you're getting some short covering right now. We're looking at the daily chart, and we've confirmed a lower high. That's what I'm connecting this trend line to. This is a lower high right here. We have a declining 5-day moving average, and basically our target's going to be around the 50, around this 55 level. And then you still see the trend line down here. So if the market keeps coming down, this stock's going to go right along with it. It has had an amazing move from around 40 all the way up to almost 61. So I definitely will be shorting this any chance I get. It's got to come up a little more. If it could get to this 58.5 level, that's probably where I'll start scaling in. And my stop will be right above the prior high around the 60 level. One more I'm going to throw out there is Apache. We actually got long some of this back on Friday. We had this huge violent down move, and we almost got to the 100-day moving average. They popped it up, and basically what you have to blame for the down move is they have some reserves in Egypt, and they're talking about shutting down one of the main places that they extract oil from, which caused other tanker stocks to rocket on Friday, but this one just so happened to have more exposure to it. That's why they brought it down sharply. This was nothing but short covering in here. It was an easy 3 points. I just took my profits right before I started the video. Anyways, guys, I got to get back to trading. I'll update you after the close about what's going on right now. Have a good day.